We have a lot of problems. My world is information technology. We've got a tremendous number of issues dealing with phishing and other kinds of scams where people are being bilked out of their life savings. Do you think that neuroscience can actually, and maybe neuroeconomics or behavioral economics, can help us better present, make a really kind of a significant difference in the way we present so that we can actually combat some of these?
So I think there are cases in which we can. So extreme cases like telling people not to click on links in phishing emails, that's very, very domain specific, meaning that that's guidance that is applicable in one setting and it doesn't really apply other places, but it's still a good thing to know. That's not a neuroeconomics problem. That's just that's a problem where if you can present information to people a little bit better, then probably that would help. But in a lot of other cases, that's not what we need. That it's not just going to be presenting information that helps people. And so one of the things that neuroscience helps do in recent cases, at least a lot of us are very interested in, is setting up what we might call choice architectures. So what is the information you present at what times and what way that helps walk people through complex problems? And I think that's where really the connections between neuroscience and behavior are going to be strongest, because there are frankly better and worse ways to get information in the brain. There are limits on the types of information, the speed at which we process information. There are effects on, for example, if you present huge numbers, that if you do that first, that diminishes your ability to deal with smaller numbers later. And you can get biases in behavior by just changing the order in which you present things. And these are things that in many cases we understand both at a neuroscience level and a behavioral level. And so I see the neurosciences really working in concert with behavioral science, in order to understand where people are biased. And then almost by default, once you know where people are biased, that gives you the insight you need to develop some sort of effectively a little vaccine that you can apply ahead of time, so that by knowing that you're about to be biased, you can present the information in a slightly different way that minimizes that bias.
Have you seen many people actually applying this vaccine approach?
Well, I mean, vaccine, of course, is just a metaphor, but the idea, I mentioned one of opt-in and opt-out. That's probably the clearest. There are lots of cases of well, again, what we might call range effects. Right. And so let me give you the negative of this. So if you're looking at a glass of wine, or let's say a bottle of wine in a restaurant, you have no idea, unless you're an extreme connoisseur, what that $40 bottle of wine is worth. And is it a good deal or not? But I can promise you'll think differently about it if it's the second most expensive bottle on the menu than if it's the second least expensive bottle on the menu. And so just by changing the other things around that bottle, your sense of value for that wine changes pretty dramatically. And restaurants know this. They'll adjust the way they do wine pricing, because people don't tend to pick the cheapest bottle. And the differences between bottles seem less big if there's extreme expensive ones on the menu. So that's something that one can recognize. That doesn't tell you which is the right bottle of wine, but it just gives you a sense that it might be the case that I want to avoid going from a $40 to a $60 bottle of wine just because there's a $300 bottle, a $300 bottle on the menu. Now, that's one that not everybody experiences, but the same sort of range effect where you lose the ability to distinguish small differences, and there's a really big difference out there. That occurs in car buying, it occurs in just everyday shopping. And if you can recognize that that's a tendency that we all have, you may be able to take steps to combat it.